Om. Om. Sahanavavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone. So we will start the class with chanting all the verses which we have covered so far. Arjuna Vacha Evam Satata Yukta Ye Bhaktastvam Paryupasate Ye Chapyaksharamavhyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittama. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam Nityayukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopeta Te Me Yukta Tamamata. Ye Tvaksharamanirdeshyam Avyaktam Paryupasate Sarvatra Gamachintyam Cha Kutasthamachalam Dhruvam. Sanniyamyendriyagramam Sarvatra Samabuddhayah Te Prapnuvanti Mameva Sarvabhutahite Ratha. Kleshodhikatarastesham Avyakta Sakta Chetasam Avyakta Higatir Dhukkam Dehavat Bhiravapyate. ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते. तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात्. भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्. मय्येव मन आदत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः. अत चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम्. अभ्यासयोगेन ततः मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव. मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि. So these are the 10 verses which we have studied so far. Just to give a summary of what has happened so far, Arjuna asked the question to Krishna, "O Lord, among the devotees who worship you in your name and form, with your name and form, and among the devotees who worship you without a form or name, as an unmanifest divinity, who is the better one? Who is the best?" And then Lord Krishna answers the question without directly saying who is better. He just says, those who are completely absorbed in me, who give up everything and who have dedicated themselves to me, actually are the best. So that's the second verse Krishna is talking. Just to go over. See, Mayyaveshya Mano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upati. That's always who are completely absorbed in me. Shraddhaya, with unswerving faith and dedication, consider me as the supreme goal. They are the best in my opinion. That's what he says in the first verse in answer to Arjuna. Then he says, those who worship that formless one which is indestructible, which is unmanifest, the one which has pervaded everything everywhere in this world, which is permanently fixed and immovable. And those who have completely controlled the senses and have an equanimous state of mind everywhere, in every situation, they obtain me, and they are those who seek the welfare of everything, every living being on this planet. Then he says, it's a bit difficult to worship the unmanifest for those who have body identification. They may even have a lot of trouble and sorrow in that process. That is, if they have body attachment, the path will be a bit more troublesome and filled with some sorrow. Then he says, those who give up all, they who have offered or renounced all actions, okay, considering me as the supreme goal, without any other thought, merged in me, united with me, and who meditate, contemplate on me, those will be uplifted by me from the ocean of death and the world of existence without delay. And they are those whose entire mind is fully absorbed in me, has completely entered into me. And such people, their mind will be deposited in me. They would have offered their buddhi also in me. They always reside in me. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So that is, in a nutshell, is the answer which Sri Krishna gives Arjuna. Then now we come to a point where Krishna gives various techniques for those who are unable to do that. He says, if you are unable to contemplate or completely be absorbed, your mind to be absorbed in me in a steady manner, in a firm manner, then you should take up the practice. You should practice that as a yoga, abhyasa yoga. So the practice itself should be worship. And he's telling, desire for me and practice. That is one of the steps. Then he says, if that such a practice is also not difficult, it's difficult for you, unable to master that, then do all actions, consider me as the supreme goal. So perform all actions for my sake. If you do so, then you will attain success. Then we come to, that's what we have studied so far. Now we have come to the 11th verse of the Bhagavad Gita. So let us take a look at it in detail. Ataitadapyashaktosi kartum madyogamashritah sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. Ataitadapyashaktosi kartum madyogamashritah sarva karma phalatyagam tata kuru yatatmavan. Ataitadapyashaktosi kartum mat yoga mashritaha sarva karma pala tyagam tata kuru yatatmavan. I'll just point out some letters which you may need to pay attention to. Athai, this thai, in the tha in the thai is the second letter in the third category of letters. So it has to be aspirated. That means an extra air should be, and extra effort should be employed while pronouncing that. So athai. Tadapyashatosi. There is no difficult consonant, no aspirated consonant, no other ones. Kartum madhyogam ashritaha. Here also there are no aspirated consonants. Sarva karma phala tyagam. This, the phala, many people pronounce it as phala. It is inaccurate from the point of view of Sanskrit. So you have to say phala. That's also an aspirated consonant, which is the second letter in the pa varga or pa category of letters. So phala, okay. Phala is used by people, but it is not considered an acceptable form of pronunciation. Okay. Tata kuru yatatmavan. There are no other aspirated consonants. Let us take a look at the split, word split. We'll split the sandhis and see what the individual words are before we move on to looking at the meaning. The first word, athai tadapyashaktosi, it's comprised of multiple words. It has 5 words in it. Atha, etad, api, ashaktaha, asi. I think I should have fixed one more, but okay. Atha, etat, okay, atha, etat, api, ashaktaha, asi. So there are 5 words which have come together to make the first compound word. Okay, atha plus etat becomes athaitat. Athaitat, because the A becomes I because of sandhi. Athaitat, athaitat. In the second sandhi, etat, when it joins with api, the it becomes id. It becomes id. And then that id joins a, so it becomes the. So that's how you get eta dabi. Eta dapi. Okay, eta dapi. Okay. Then this api, e and a becomes ya. In the e in the api plus asaktaha, the a in the asaktaha join to make ya. So it becomes apyashaktaha. Apyashaktaha. Okay, api ashaktaha becomes apyashaktaha. Then the ashaktaha, the visarga, when it joins a, it becomes ashakto, and the a becomes silent. So ashaktosi, ashaktosi, apyashaktosi, etadapyashaktosi, athaidadapyashaktosi. So there are 5 letters. So you practice pronouncing each word separately and then put them together, and you should be able to pronounce athaitadapyashaktosi. Then the next word is kartum, no sandhi change. Madhyogam ashritaha, there's a simple sandhi. Madhyogam ashritaha becomes madhyogam ashritaha. I can further split madhyogam into mat yogam but I will leave it because it's a compound consonant. It's similar to it becoming id, and then yogam is attached. But it's a single word. It's a samasa also. Similar to, I think, mat karma, madartham, we have looked at earlier. So it's similar to that. Ashritaha. Okay. The next word is sarva karma phala tyagam. And there are no real sandhi, but it is a derived word with many words coming together. I have just shown them with a dash in between so that it's easy to chant. Sarva karma phala tyagam. Okay. So there are 4 different words, but no change as far as sandhi goes out. Tata, no change. Kuru. The next word is yatatmavan. It is a single word, but there are some prefixes and suffixes, or you can say there is a small samasa also, which is yata atmavan. Okay. I've just split it just for the sake of looking at the meanings. Don't want to go into too many details of the grammar itself. Yatatmavan. Okay. Let's look at the meaning of the verse. Atha. Atha means if. In this case, the meaning is atha can have slightly different meanings depending on the context. In this case, we will go with the meaning if. Okay, if. Etad, I think I have already. Etad means this. That is Krishna is referring to the previous suggestion. Okay, if that is not possible, which is basically doing all actions, seeing the Lord as the goal. Etat api, even. So even if this, that is what he had just mentioned. Ashaktahasi. So that means you are unable to do even the one which I told you now. Ashaktaha means unable. Shakta means one who is capable, who has the power to do it, who has the strength to do it. Shakta. Ashakta means you don't have the strength to do even that. Asi means you are. Okay. Ashakta hasi means you don't have the strength. You feel weak to do that, what I just mentioned. Then he says, Mad Yogamashritaha, which is basically wanting to see me as the goal. Okay, the Madartamapi Karmani. So you do all actions wanting to come to me, join me, merge in me. So Mat Yogam, that means I have given the split here, though I mentioned before. Mat Yogam, that is, I think Kalyani had asked about it last week. It's this class of samasas are called the Tatpurusha samasas, and they can have various vibhaktis based on the context. So in this case, Mat is Mama Yoga. Okay, Mama means sixth vibhakti, my. That's the way that samasa, that's the meaning of this samasa or this compound word. Mat Yoga means, so if you're unable to merge in me, you have that union with me or having me as the goal. If that's not possible, performing actions with me as the goal. I've just given some explanatory meaning here. But it's simply put, it's Mat Yoga. Okay. Mat Yoga. If that's not possible, then he gives another solution, which is Sarva Karma Phala Tyaga. Sarva means all, karma is actions, phala is the fruit. Tyaga means renouncing, giving up. Okay, so Tyaga also has to be understood as something which we offer to the Lord. Not just give up. Generally, we'll say give up the fruits of actions. No, there's nothing to be given up. Because the Lord is everywhere, we have to offer it to the Lord. So there is a slightly, in the spiritual context, anything which we renounce is we give it to the Lord. We offer it to the Lord. Okay. Sarva karma phala tyagam. But I've just used the word renunciation because that's the general meaning given. Tataha. If you do that, then do yathatmavan. So basically, if you are unable to do that even, then you do sarva karma palatyaga. Yata atmavan. Yathatmavan. So there are three words in this letter. Yathatmavan. Yata atmavan. Let's look at the word yata. Yata means one who is controlled, restrained, who has all his faculties together. Okay. Everything under control. Yata. Atma means self. Van, in Sanskrit, there is something called a suffix which is called matup pratyaya, which basically means you possess that quality. So one who possesses the quality of being restrained. So I have given the meaning, one who has one's mind under control. Okay, mind and senses and everything should be under one's control. So when we give up the fruits of action, we should do with that total control of the mind and the senses. So that's the last suggestion Krishna is giving. He's given a few suggestions. Okay. So I've given a short summary of these words. If you're incapable of even performing actions for attaining me as the goal, the practice of settling the mind on me, okay, renounce the fruits of all actions as one who is self-possessed. Yatatmavan, I have given the meaning here as self-possessed. Okay, who is composed and in control of one's mind. So when we give up the fruits of action, we should be self-possessed and in control of our mind. So that is the technique which Krishna gives to those who are unable to perform all actions with the Lord as the goal. So the first one is you should be completely absorbed in the Lord without any other thought. That's the first one. The second one is, if that is not possible, practice that, desiring to achieve me. Then the next one he gives is perform all actions with me as the goal. You do everything so that you can reach the Lord. If that is also not possible, whatever you do, at least offer the fruits of those actions to me and keep your mind under control. In a self-possessed way. So those are the four suggestions Krishna is telling Arjuna. I have an excerpt of Swami's discourse. We will just read. It's from Prashanti Vahini. So I will read that. On one occasion, when mystic subjects were taught to Arjuna, he got puzzled and asked Krishna, one time you say that we should renounce all activities. Another time you say that the discipline of karma yoga has to be adapted. Tell me which of the two paths is better. Krishna answered thus, renunciation and discipline of karma both lead to the same goal of liberation. O Arjuna, but know this. There is greater joy in doing work than in giving up work. Renunciation and work are not contradictory. They are interdependent, complementary. By giving up work without the progress derived from activity and the training achieved through it, people will only decline. The real renunciant, sannyasin, is one who does not desire one thing or hate another. The word renunciation can well be applied to work done without regard to success or failure, profit or loss, honor or dishonor, to any activity performed as an offering to the Lord. Mere inactivity announced by the saffron cloth and the shaved head is no renunciation at all. To deserve the name, one must have avoided the duality of joy and grief, of good and bad. So better than giving up of activity is the giving up of its fruits. It also yields greater joy. That is the best path. However, where the renunciation or the discipline of activity is followed, the fruit of the other can also be won. I will just read the sentence again. However, where the renunciation or the discipline of activity is followed, the fruit of the other can also be won. There is bliss in activity, but there's also bliss in renunciation. Renunciation devoid of any of the discipline of activity will lead to grief. How can anyone get away from activity? However much you may avoid action, isn't it necessary at least to engage yourself in the remembrance of the Lord, in meditation or repetition of the name? That too is an action. If these are given up, there is no joy in life. Everyone has to do some activity, whatever the form. One who engages in the yoga of action, renouncing all the fruits of action and following the discipline of silence, can realize Brahman within a short time. Action will not stick to such. Action for such a person is akin to breathing. Life is impossible without the activity of breathing. So too, for the aspirant, work is essential. Unrest, ashanti, comes only when the fruit of action is desired. If the fruit is disregarded and the joy is derived from the very action itself, then one gets peace. No one thinks of the results and benefits of action of breathing, do they? So too, when work is done, never worry about its result. That gives real peace. So this is from Prashanti Vahini, chapter 21. Sairam, Uncle Gopal.
Sairam, could you go to the previous page? One who engages in fruit of action, one engages in yoga of action.
Yes.
So, what does that really mean?
So what Swami is saying, Karma Yoga is Swami's equating it as Karma Phala Tyaga, which is giving up the fruits of action, is Karma Yoga. So the earlier one, the renunciation of karma. So what Krishna is telling is, if you give up action, any action, without having the discipline of Karma Yoga, which is offering the fruits of action, then that will lead to grief. Okay. So people may ask, oh, why is even Krishna bringing this up? Then that's why Krishna is telling. Some people think, see, before Karma Yoga, there is one suggestion which Krishna is saying: do all actions to reach me. So there also he has not given up action. Because in this context, we should understand Krishna is talking to Arjuna who does not want to fight. So he is telling, you are renouncing this action. But if you are renouncing this action, you should be engaging in action to reach me. So in that context, he's saying renunciation of action. But you can give up this action also if you have the discipline of activity, which is Swami is saying Karma Yoga, which is offering the fruits of action. So he's saying sometimes we don't want to do any work. But if you don't do work and if there's no money, we'll be worried. We don't want to look for food. But if there's no food, we'll be worried. So he's saying if you're not looking for food, you should not even look for food. If you're not looking for food, you should not desire food. You should not be affected by you not receiving food or receiving the food. So the thing is, sometimes we have the tendency to not do some inaction. But if something, the result of that we are unable to accept. So that's what Krishna is saying. So sometimes if in a difficult situation, we will say, I don't want to do anything. Let me just not do anything. But then when the results of that inaction comes also, we should not be affected. That is what Krishna is telling here, Swami is telling here. That's why he's telling it will lead to grief. Many times people, yes, sir.
All of us are engaged in some kind of action, right?
Yes, that's why he's telling, anyway you are breathing, that is also action. But sometimes we say, I don't want to do anything about this. And we'll tell Swami, Swami, I don't want to do, I will leave it to you. Swami will say, okay, that's fine. I will take care of it. But then something happens because we did not act, which is the fruit of action. Swami is saying that also you should give up. That also you should offer to me. So if you do one without the other, because we all resist in acting in certain situations. But while doing that, Swami says we should offer the fruits of that also to me, which is Karma Yoga, the way I understand. See, that's why Swami, however much you may avoid action, isn't it necessary at least to engage yourself in the remembrance of Lord, in meditation, the repetition? That too is action. If these are given up, there is no joy in life. So the person who has given up activity, if the person is remembering the Lord, is engaging in that action, is actually offered the fruits of action also to the Lord. That's the way I understand. One who engages in the yoga of action, which is renouncing all fruits of action and following the discipline of silence, can realize Brahman within a short time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saira. Then, because Krishna has listed all these 4 different approaches. Yes, Auntie Sakhu.
Sai Ram, a quick question. When you engage yourself in meditation or namasmarana, there also you should not expect any fruits.
If the fruit is attaining the Lord, that fruit you can look for.
Okay, thank you.
Saira.
Just clarifying myself.
Yes, I think that's what Krishna says. Maya Veshya Mano Yemam. You will attain me, he says. You will obtain me. So that fruit is worthy of.
Thank you.
Saira.
Saira.
So we will go through the next verse. So Krishna is sort of summarizing this, what he has stated in the 4 verses, in this verse, which is the 12th verse. I'm making a few corrections here and I will post the PDF again. Sorry for all those who may have printed. You can make those corrections. But I will update the corrected version, upload it. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanat dhyanam vishishyate. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanat dhyanam vishishyate. Dhyanat karma phala tyagat chanti ranantara. Dhyanat karma phala tyagat chanti ranantara. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanat dhyanam visishyate. Dhyanat karma phala tyagat chanti ranantara. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanat dhyanam vishishyate. Dhyanat karma phala tyagat chanti ranantara. The second line, all the words have been put together. We'll split it, then it should be easy for you to understand. But we'll look at the pronunciation aspect of any letters which you had to pay attention to. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. This b, the bha is the fourth letter in the pa varga, pa category of letters. The second and the fourth have to always be aspirated with extra air and emphasis. So this also needs your attention. Okay. Abhyasa, jnanat, dhyanam. I would like to stop here at the ijña. See, pay attention to that. When I split it, maybe I will again explain. That ña, ijña, that is jnana. Okay. That is J and ña. Okay, those are the two letters. So you should say jnanam. Because generally we have a tendency, depending on the parts of India or wherever you have learned it from, some people say gyan, some people say jnan. They start with G. Okay, the sound G, g, jnan or gyan. And those two are also there. They are incorrect from a purely Sanskrit perspective. It should start with the word letter J, Gyan, Ijña. Just pay attention. Then Jnana Dhyana. It's very big. I don't know whether it's very legible for you all. So there is Id, which is the third letter Da, and the fourth letter Da, which is The. Okay, Id, and Ya. So there are three letters coming together to make this compound consonant. Id, and Ya. Dhya. Okay. Idhya. Okay. Jnana dhyanam. So that also you should, because the third letter, so second letter, id, that letter is the fourth letter in the tha varga, so it has to be aspirated. When we look at the split, I will again go over them. Visishyate. Dhyanat. This dha is the same dha which comes here. This is the fourth letter in the tha varga, so it has to be aspirated, so with extra air and emphasis. Dhyana, karma, phala. Again, this the pa is the second letter in the pa varga. So pa, phala, tyagat, cha. There are in this there's ich and cha. So the cha is the second letter in the cha varga or cha category of letters. It has to be aspirated. Chanti ranantara. Okay. Let's look at the word split. I could have split it here itself, but I just wanted to keep it that way, because when you read anywhere else, you will see this, and then you should not wonder what happened. And that's why I retained that. But when we look at the split, it should be a bit more understandable and easy to pronounce. The first word is Shreyo, which is actually Shreyaha. The visarga at the end becomes O because of Sandhi. Shreyo. Hi jnanam abhyasad jnana dhyanam. So these 4 words, jnanam, abhyasad, jnanat, dhyanam. These 4 words are put together as one word here. Okay, a compound word here. But this is composed of 4 different words. Jnanam. So as you can see, I said j, nya, jna. Okay, jnanam. Abhyasad. Jnanam and plus a becomes ma. So it becomes jnanam abhyasad. Okay. This it becomes ij because of sandhi. So you get abhyasad jnanam. Abhyasaj jnanam. Instead of abhyasat jnanam, it becomes abhyasaj jnanam. So this it becomes ij because of sandhi. Jnanat dhyanam. In that it becomes id. And such you get jnana dhyanam. Okay. So these are some sandhi transformations. So jnanam abhyasat jnanam dhyanam. Okay. Visishyate. I did not mention visish. This ish is a cerebral isha, so the tip of the tongue should point towards the roof of the mouth. Visish. So there is difference between this sh and sh. Just the tongue position from flat, it becomes raised. Vishish yate. In the next one, it's a compound word comprising of all these. We will look at them one by one. Dhyanat karma. There's no change per se in the sound or any letter. It becomes half and it's joined. Okay, there's no change, transformation of any sound. Dhyanat karma phala tyaga. No change so far. But when tyagaha and tyagat join, the visarga becomes is. So tyagas tyagat. Okay, this visarga becomes is here because of sandhi. Then tyagat, this it plus sha go through multiple changes. It becomes ich and sha becomes cha. So this very special sandhi where both the letters undergo change, and it may be confusing for many. Tyaga chanti. Okay. It becomes ich and sha becomes cha. Okay. Tyaga chanti. The visarga shanti hi. The visarga becomes ir because of sandhi and becomes shanti ranantara. Okay. I understand this sandhi, this one of the verses where the sandhi, so the joinings can be a bit more complex than normal. But I hope it's okay for you to learn that. If not, if you can't chant it like that, you can chant it for you. Shreyakhe jnanam abhyasa jnanat dhyanam visishyate dhyanat karma palatyagaha tyagat shanti anantaram. You can chant it like that also in a prose form. It's okay. If that is easy, then chant it that way. The impact is the same. If you do it in a prose way or in a poetic way, which is where you put it all together. People generally feel that joining them together and chanting is much more powerful. We should understand, we were chanting the verses in the beginning also. The reason why it is chanted is the words themselves are like medicinal tablets, like vitamins. By that Sanskrit sounds are considered to be potent. So by chanting, even with little effort on our part, the impact of that quality will be somehow entering us and be absorbed by us. That is the belief. Okay. And so because the sound vibration is capable of, like if you say tyaga, 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 renunciation or the sacrifice, sense of sacrifice will naturally come about in us. That's the belief. Because the sound, when you chant and you hear, because what we chant, we hear, there is a circulation of that sound vibration. That sound, because of the potency of the sound itself, it can bring about change in us. And so that's what the rishis say. So because of that, if you can learn to chant it that way, it's much more potent. But even saying this and reading like this also has equal impact on us. So that's what I've just in passing mentioned that. Okay, so now let's look at the word-to-word meaning. Shreya is the first word. In most translations, the meaning generally given is superior. Okay, so I have tried to avoid that because it can send some wrong understanding. Because it's not a comparison of an absolute comparison of these. So because of that, Shreyas, I have put the word excellent, which is also an applicable meaning. Okay, Shreya means excellent. Swami always talks about Shreyo Marga and Preyo Marga. Shreya Marga and Preya Marga. Shreyas is that which aspires for the Lord. Prayers is what we do in this world, external activity. So Shreya can be internal activity. So in that sense, it is a divine activity. It can be considered excellent. Okay, so I've used the word excellent here. He is certainly or indeed. Okay. Jnanam. Jnanam is knowledge. Jnanam is knowledge. Abhyasat. Abhyasat is the fifth noun form of the simple noun abhyasa. So the fifth noun form or fifth vibhakti generally means from. It's sort of from that. Okay. Point of separation, that's what it says. However, in this case, in English, when you translate, the word than is a bit more applicable. So I've used the word than, which is what you will find in. So what Krishna is saying is, than practice, knowledge is excellent or superior, if you want to use that. So his knowledge is superior to practice. Okay. Jnanat, again, the fifth bhakti of the word jnanam. Jnanam is knowledge. I use the word than knowledge or from knowledge. Okay, from knowledge or than knowledge. Dhyanam. Dhyanam is meditation or contemplation. Vishishyate, that surpasses or excels. Okay. Dhyanat is again the fifth noun form of the word dhyana. So I've used the word from meditation here. So you can say than also there also. So let me have put than just to keep it consistent. Than meditation. Okay. Karma phala tyagaha. Okay. Karma phala tyagaha is renunciation of fruits. Karma is fruit, actions. Phala is fruit. Tyaga is renunciation. Karma phala tyagaha. Renunciation of fruits of action. Tyagat from renunciation. Again, tyagat is again the fifth noun form of the word tyaga. Generally, the natural meaning is from. From renunciation, shantihi, peace, anantaram. I give a detailed meaning without an interval. Antaram means duration, interval. Okay. Anantaram means without delay, without any duration, without any time. That means immediately. He says when you do renunciation, immediately you will get shanti. Just Sairam Auntie.
I don't know, at the end of this thing, can you please tell us all the steps that Krishna is saying, just in one words or two words, like dhyanam, jnanam, like that, the steps that he is saying. If you cannot do that, do this. If you cannot do this, do that. So please, can you summarize it for me?
Yes.
Thank you for us.
Okay, I'll try, Auntie.
Thanks.
To the best of my understanding, or based on my limited understanding. Okay, Saira. So I did not give a summary for this because I have an excerpt from Swami's, which is Swami nicely says, but because Auntie said it, so I will just summarize in the context of from what Krishna said from the beginning. So there are four things which yes, one is jnana, the second one is abhyasa, practice, the third one is dhyanam, the contemplation, and the fourth one is karma phala tyaga, offering the fruits of action. So these are the four he has given: jnanam, abhyasa, dhyanam, and sarva karma phala tyaga. So the first one is jnanam, is to have the knowledge. Okay. So in any, just to give some context, in any action, anything which we have to do, or we should not do, if somebody gives us the knowledge, then if we apply that knowledge, then we will not run into any problem. So if we have somebody has explained something to us, if we know, for example, let's say if you're cooking something, somebody gives a recipe, okay, but just reading the recipe is not knowledge. The knowledge usually comes through experience or understanding the concepts. One who has full knowledge of what is to cook, when a piece of information is given, they will be using that knowledge and they will be able to cook without any problem, and the result will be fantastic because they are expert cooks. They know all aspects of every single aspect of cooking, how vegetables have to be cut, or what's at what time what has to be added, what's the temperature of the water, heat which is there, the duration for which it has to be cooked, and things like that, and the appropriate amounts, and what are the impacts of whatever the ingredients are, all that. So that is knowledge. Then somebody who does not have will take a recipe and will cook a few times. As they do it again and again, through that process, they may make mistakes, improve, and over a period of time, they'll become good at it. So that is second one. The third one is, Swami says, dhyanam, contemplation. So the contemplation is slightly different. This analogy may not work. But the thing is, Swami says, thinking of the Lord, doing it. In the case of sadhana, thinking of the Lord all the time and doing and engaging in actions is dhyana. Okay. The first one is knowing that the Lord is everywhere and thinking. Because of that, you don't have to think of anything else, because that knowledge itself will make sure that you think of the Lord, because you know the Lord is everywhere. No problem. The second one, you have to practice. Oh, I should see the Lord here. I should see the Lord there. I should see him in this action. So reminding, practice. The third one is dhyanam. That is, dhyanam is not sitting in one place and doing meditation. If you read Dhyanavayan, Swami will say, you should think of the Lord, whatever you do, wherever you are. That is dhyan. So that means trying to contemplate on the Lord wherever we are, whatever we are doing. So our focus will be more on the Lord than even doing the action. Or whatever you do, you want to go to the Lord. That will be the means don't even matter. The goal matters. The goal is the Lord. That is dhyana. Then that can be a bit troublesome, because when we are running towards something without even looking at other things, you may get bumped and fall and all that. But you will not be dissuaded. If you fell down, you will get up and again run. It's like, sometimes we see runners in races, they will be running, they will fall down, they will be bleeding and all that, but they will still get up and run. Because the goal is to get to that point. They are totally contemplating on the goal. That is dhyana. The last one is karma palatyaga, which is offering. You think, Lord, I will run. If I fell down, that also I offer to you. Complete surrender. Sarva karma palatya. So those are 4 ways we can worship the Lord, whichever we are capable of. And then Swami says, in that, if you give up that, you won't be worried about anything. You will be, if I fell down also, you will say, that is also okay, Lord. I could not complete the race, but I am still, that what my loss also I offered. As soon as we offer that also, the Lord says you will have shanti. You will immediately have peace of mind. You will not be upset, you will not be worried, you will not be sad, nothing. If you have sadness, that also is offered. Everything is offered to the Lord. That is the ultimate for someone who is unable to do anything. So all these can result in peace. These are the 4 things. Sai Ram Aunty Sakunti. Sakunti, you have to unmute and speak, otherwise, I don't know, by mistake.
No. Anandam means, could it be limitless?
No, anantaram. Anantaram. Antara means there's a gap. There's an interval.
Okay.
Antara means there's a gap or interval. So there is no gap. Nachirat also Swami has used earlier on. Without delay. The Lord is there right away. Because as soon as you give up offer the fruits to the Lord, immediately you should have peace of mind. You will have peace of mind. So that is the test. If you are giving up the action, you should have immediately obtained peace. If we have not obtained peace, then we have not given up the fruits, or we have not done anything. I'll go to Swami's discourse excerpt from Gita Vayani. I don't know, it's from the 22nd chapter. Those who are attending the Gita Vayani would have already gone through this, but I will just read it here for those who may have not. Narayana lifted Nara, Arjuna, and said this to him. Arjuna, he said, you have no need now for acquiring the characteristics of either of these. Either of these is about the sagunopasana, nirgunopasana, which Krishna originally, Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta. He says, that type of devotion, they are not within easy reach for the common person. I shall tell you of a path that is easier than these two. That is than those two, Sagunopasana, Nirgunopasana. That path will surely confer on you my grace. This is that path. Establish your mind and intelligence in me. If you cannot accomplish, so that is the jnana part. Once we establish our mind and intelligence in the Lord, we attain jnana. Because the Lord is jnana. If you cannot accomplish this and find it difficult, give up your egoism and carry on activities that are moral and holy. So here Swami says, if that is not possible, you can't contemplate, your mind is not on me, buddhi is not on me, then carry on activities which are moral and holy. That's the translation, which basically means you do whatever is prescribed in the Shastras. Whatever is prescribed in the Vedas, Shastras, what is considered holy, perform those actions, because those actions will take you to me. Those actions which have God as the goal. Okay. If even this is too difficult, give up attachment to the fruits and consequences of all your actions. Then he says, give up attachment to all the fruits of actions, karma palatyaga. Offer them to me as Krishnarpanam, offering to Krishna. Offering your acts to me should not be a mere vocal exercise. Take care that you do by word, by deed, and by thought. Mano va karma, as they say. Do you feel that even this is beyond you? Then you will be made aware of the aftermath. After saying this much, Krishna sat silent for a while. He said, this is the fourth and the last one. If you can't do this, he says, you will know what happened to you. And he just keeps quiet apparently. Then Swami continues, take note of this. The aspirant for grace must have before his mind the act and not its consequence, beneficial or otherwise. That is the reason why Gopala said, Jnana is superior to Abhyasa, Dhyana is superior to Jnana, and giving up of attachment or the consequences of your act is superior to Dhyana. Such non-attachment, Krishna said, will confer Shanti. Okay. So this is what Swami has said. So, even though the word, even here the translation is superior, Swami has used the word Shreya, which means depending on who we are, certain things are much more beneficial to us. Only in a relative term, these are superior, but ultimately all of them will grant the same thing for whoever is suited for this. So when you say Shreya here or superior, you can say suitable depending on our own state of mind or our own development, our own inclinations. Yes, the way I understand. I will stop here. I've just shared what I understand, but if you understand anything differently, that's fine. Swami will guide each of you to have the understanding which each of you need. And ultimate test, whatever the understanding is, understanding whatever we have understood, if you are able to practice it, to apply it, we should get Shanti. If you have got Shanti, then we know we have understood it the way we should understand, and we have done what we have to do. And the ultimate test is Shanti. Swami will say Prashanti. So I will stop there. That's all I had prepared for today. I hope I clearly communicated whatever my understanding is. It may not be perfect, but I will stop here. If there are any questions on what I have said, I can clarify that. Sai.
Thanks, Aruna, for giving us a summary. Thank you very much. God bless you.
So I think that's a question by someone directly to me. Doesn't practice confer knowledge, practice being the first step? Knowledge leads to meditation and therefore to surrender. It's a question. Whether practice should be the first step. Yes. Knowledge is someone who has already gained it through personal experience. Generally, anyone would have gone through practice to understand. But sometimes there are people, they say, some people, just by hearing somebody explain it to them, they will understand and avoid problem. Some people, even after hearing, even though they have the knowledge, they may not be able to do. Okay, for example, Pandavas, whatever Krishna said, they immediately understood and did what they had to do. But a person like Duryodhana, he tells Krishna, Krishna, I know what is right, but I am unable to do. For people like Duryodhana, abhyas is needed. So his knowledge there, but Pandavas was people who naturally did it. Maybe one can say, they would have practiced in the previous life or something like that, possibly. Yes, those who don't have the knowledge, practice is the first step. And practice, and then you get the knowledge, then you say that leads to meditation. Without knowledge, we may not be able to meditate also. Because if we don't know who the Lord is, understand the value of the Lord, we may not meditate. That's also true. And sometimes, that also may not be possible, then surrender. Surrender is the final one. Even though it's a final one, when nothing is possible, that's what the most supreme. Because you surrender, the Lord takes care of everything. He will do the sadhana for you, he'll make you do the sadhana, and then he will confer. So that's the ultimate. You just surrender. Even if you fail, you completely surrender and just tell the Lord, you take care. So that's why, comparison may be a bit of a problem, because nothing is superior or inferior. Depending on where we are, what we are capable of, we can pick and choose one of them. And then the Lord will take care of the rest. Yes, sister.
Brother, in the last sentence also, Swami saying jnana is superior to abhyasa. That means knowledge is greater than the practice. But again, he's coming back to say dhyana is superior to jnana, because when you practice only, then again coming and say that is superior to jnana. So he's twisting there.
See, so I think, sister, there was another message, a direct message, which basically, how will you know what to practice?
Yeah.
You do not know what to practice, so knowledge comes first. So I will, what they say is in Sanatana Dharma, the climb up to the top is a circular ladder. In the circular ladder, there are 4 aspects. One is knowledge, one is practice, one is doing the action, one is having the right contemplation. So to start off, you need to have some knowledge, limited knowledge. With that limited knowledge, you do something. At least you should have the knowledge about what to do. Then you do practice. Then you have some improvements. Then you're able to focus. You're able to meditate. Then you have full knowledge. Then you again find out what is the next step. That's also knowledge. Then you practice that. Then you attain the result. Then you come back to the next step. Then you have a little more knowledge. So it's a circular. So from wherever you are, the other piece may look a little before above that. But ultimately, all four of them are actually taking you up and up. So, yes, see, it's the horse before the cart or cart before the horse, type of thing. All of them are complementary and they come one after the other and they take you to the slightly higher level, slightly higher level, slightly higher level. So little bit of knowledge, little bit of practice, little bit of improvement, little bit of knowledge. And through that, you improve the contemplation on the Lord. The contemplation grows. One day I will be totally, completely. So knowledge slowly grows, practice slowly grows, success also slowly grows. So that's why we should not say we will do one thing and then we don't have to worry about the other. No. First find out, then practice, then perfect. Improve your focus. Then find next one, practice. So yes, that's the process. So I am sure Swami will guide you, all of you. This is what we are trying to do, is some knowledge, a little bit of knowledge of that.
Yes.
Sairam.
Yeah, this is what we have been going through. We got the jnanam from the study circle, and then we started practicing, and then we started doing meditation and all the other sadhanas, and then we realized, finally you surrender everything to Lord Shiva, Lord Sai, and leave it. He will take care of us. He will guide us. He will protect us, and that was one of the Avadaric mission. We'll have faith and devotion. He will do what he has promised. Thank you to all the Sai devotees who have participated, and thank you for giving us all this knowledge. God bless you.
Sairam.
Sairam.
So Sairam sister who asked this question, what do we practice? If you don't have the knowledge, seek the knowledge. Once you have the knowledge to do what you should do, then practice it. Once you practice, you will improve. So it is a circular process. If you have the knowledge, not practicing, then we should practice. If you practice, then you should you practice until you master it. I think each of us can. We actually, at the same time, all of us may have mastered small things, and we are learning something and we are practicing something. It's simultaneously going on for all of us. So I will just leave it at that. It's 10:21. If there are no questions, we will close the session. And we'll meet again next week. Okay, Sairam everyone. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam everyone.